Um, Welcome. This is a bhakti yoga enlightenment program hosted by Rosemary Rasamrita Devi Dasi, and it's July 12th, 2026. In the next part of our program, we're gonna be studying Bhagavad Gita as it is. This is an ancient Vedic literature. Chapter 18, entitled Conclusion, the Perfection of Renunciation, text 46. In the first part of our program, we had an experience in meditation on transcendental sound vibration, mantra meditation. And I'll mention, I did my PhD dissertation in the 1990s on the effects of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra on stress, depression, and the three gunas. The gunas are, it's a paradigm for psychology and for understanding the material energy coming from Bhagavad Gita. And our dissertation research strongly confirmed the Vedic assertions that chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra decreases stress and material anxiety, increases life satisfaction. Later in the program, we will focus again on mantra. And so now we'll start with Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 46. That's all. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And just so we're aware who's here, online there's Aditya and Lakshmi Priya Prabhus, and then here in person there's Bo Lockwood and Gabriel Anasuya Rasamrita. And what's your name? Victor. Victor. Hello, Victor. Thanks for joining us. Okay. We'll start with the Sanskrit words responsively. Yata, Pravritir, Bhutanam, Yena, Sarvam, Idam, Tatam, Swakarmana, Tam, Abhyarcha, Siddhim, Vindati, Manava. And we'll do one line at a time responsively. Yata Pravritir Bhutanam. Yata Pravritir Bhutanam. Yena Sarvamidam Tata. Yena Sarvamidam Tata. Svakarmana Tam Abhyarcha. Svakarmana Tam Abhyarcha. Siddhim Vindati Manava. Siddhim Vindati Manava. Yata Pravritir Bhutanam. Yata Pravritir Bhutanam. Yena sarvamidam tatam. Yena sarvamidam tatam. Svakarmana tam abhyarcha. Svakarmana tam abhyarcha. Siddhim vindati manava. Siddhim vindati manava. Yata pravritir bhutanam. Yata pravritir bhutanam. Yena sarvamidam tatam. Yena sarvamidam tatam. Svakarmana tam abhyarcha. Siddhim Vindati Manava.
Yata pravitir bhutanam.
Yata Pravitir Bhutanam.
Sarvamidam tatam.
Yena Sarvamidam Tatam.
Sakarmantam yarchaya.
Sakarmanatam Abhyarcha.
Siddhi vindati mahabaha.
Siddhim Vindati Manava.
Yata pravitir bhutanam.
Yata Pravitir Bhutanam.
Sarvamidam tatam.
Yena Sarvamidam Tatam.
Tam abhyarcha.
Svakarmanatam Abhyarcha.
Siddhim vindati manava.
Siddhim Vindati Manava. Okay, we'll study the word meanings responsively. Yata, from whom? Pravriti, emanation. Bhutanam, of all living entities. Yena, by whom? Sarvam, all. Idam, this. Tatam, is pervaded. Svakarmana, in his own duties. Tam, him. Abhyarcha, by worshiping. Siddhim, perfection. Vindati, achieves. Manava, a man. Translation, by worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all-pervading, man can, in the performance of his own duty, attain perfection. Purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. As stated in the 5th chapter, as stated in the 15th chapter, all living beings are fragmental parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. As such, the Supreme Lord is the beginning of all living entities. This is confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadhyasya Yata. The Supreme Lord is therefore the beginning of life of every living entity. And the Supreme Lord, by his two energies, his external energy and internal energy, is all-pervading. Therefore, one should worship the Supreme Lord with his energies. Generally, the Vaishnava devotees worship the Supreme Lord with his internal energy. His external energy is a perverted reflection of the internal energy. The external energy is a background, but the Supreme Lord, by the expansion of his plenary portion as Paramatma, is situated everywhere. He is the super soul of all demigods, all human beings, all animals everywhere. One should therefore know that as part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, it is his duty to render service unto the Supreme. Everyone should be engaged in devotional service to the Lord in full Krishna consciousness. That is recommended in this verse. Everyone should think that he is engaged in a particular type of occupation by Rishikesh, the master of the senses, and by the result of the work in which one is engaged, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, should be worshipped. If one thinks always in this way in full Krishna consciousness, then, by the grace of the Lord, he becomes fully aware of everything. That is the perfection of life. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Tesham Aham Samudarta. The Supreme Lord himself takes charge of delivering such a devotee. That is the highest perfection of life. In whatever occupation one may be engaged, if he serves the Supreme Lord, he will achieve the highest perfection. Hare Krishna. Om Angana Timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavams Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitammascha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagat Pate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshware Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatayubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanan Pavane Bhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 46, Yata Pravrittir Bhutanam, Yena Sarvam Idam Tatam, Svakarmana Tam Abhyarcha, Siddhim Vindati Manava. By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all pervading, man can, in the performance of his own duty, attain perfection. Hare Krishna, welcome. Hello, Haley. Hare Krishna. So, okay. So, a theme in Bhagavad Gita is the distinction, the difference between spirit and matter, between soul and body. It's described who we are as spirit soul, not the material body. Avinashi tutadvini yena sarvam idam tata. Vinasham avyas yasya nakaschit kartum ahasi. It's described, Krishna says to Arjuna, know that which pervades the body, that's consciousness, can never be destroyed. No one can destroy the imperishable soul. And that's us. It is said even earlier in Bhagavad Gita. Dihinos min yata dehe komaram yovanam jara tata dehantara praptir diras tatra namuyati. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from childhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at the time of death. Let's focus in. Earlier today, we were giving another class. There was an online group, a group of Bhakti Yoga practitioners based in Singapore and Malaysia. Very inspiring association. And and I cited Martha Beck. Martha Beck wrote a book entitled The Way of Integrity. The Way of Integrity. And at one point in the book, she says she was contemplating, and she's looking at her body, and she says, it's amazing that this body gave birth to 3 children. And she said, and in the next instance, I realized it's not true. And she went into chemistry and science. Every 7 years, the atoms completely change. There's not one molecule, not one atom in the body now that was there 7 years ago. And that's true. And so she was in like a meditation. So she said, the body that gave birth to the children, that's gone. So I don't know if she studied Bhagavad Gita. Her realizations are perfectly aligned with Bhagavad Gita. Antavanta ime deha nitya shokta sharirina. Anasino prameyasya kaschid yudyasva bharata. That only the material body of the imperishable, eternal, indestructible soul is subject to destruction. So, and it's described, nasato vijite bhavo, nabhavo vijite sata, ubayur apidrishtontas, tvaneos tattvadarshibhi. Seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent there's no endurance, and of the existent there's no cessation. So non-existent, that's what's called, because here in this verse and purport, it's described there's two energies. There's two energies, material and spiritual. So material, it exists. The energy is real. The prakriti is real. That term is used here, prakriti. The energy is real. At the same time, the forms are temporary, and the way we perceive the energy is illusory. Like if I'm thinking, oh, I am this body. I'm David Wolf. I'm 65 years old. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Well, those different descriptions and designations, they relate to the body, but they don't relate to the soul. Similarly, if I'm thinking, oh, that's my house in Alachua, this is my car, rather than seeing everything as the energy of the Supreme, the energy of God, then that's an illusory conception. And even as far as, because even, again, following up on Martha Beck's realization, what to speak of 7 years? We're not in the same bodies we were in when we walked through the door of Water the Root Ashram 10 minutes ago or 30 minutes ago. The body's completely changed. Or even this table, we can think, oh, well, this exists, this is solid. Well, in a sense, at the same time, there's subatomic particles changing, moving. It's not the exact form that was there a nanosecond ago. Okay, so one analogy given is the car, right? We're not the vehicle. We're the driver of the car, right? If the car I'm driving was made in Japan, that doesn't mean I'm Japanese. If it was made in Germany, doesn't mean I'm German. Okay, so the emphasis, because in material life, the tendency is to give practically all energy to take care of the car. Take care of the car. And so a big emphasis in Bhagavad Gita, what's it mean to nourish and nurture the driver of the car? That's the spirit soul, the irreducible quanta of consciousness that animates the body. And so, hello, Taryn. Welcome.
Sorry to be late.
Hare Krishna. Welcome. Glad you're here. Welcome. Hello.
This is my friend Sundari.
Sundari?
Yes.
Hello, Sundari. Okay, I'm David Wolf,
Dear Govinda.
also known as Dear Govinda Das. Welcome. Yeah, and online we also have some visitors. Okay, welcome everyone. All right, and so we're studying chapter 18, text 46 of Bhagavad Gita. And so, so the analysis, we're not the car, we're the driver of the car. So much in the consciousness of material life, we're under the illusion we're the car. Like, if I take care of the car, put gas in it and keep it serviced, but if I haven't eaten for days and haven't taken a bath or shower, haven't drank water for a long time, but I can, oh no, I'm in good shape. Look, I just got it. I got it detailed and I waxed the roof. And so yeah, but you're in terrible condition because you're not the car. Okay. So just as to extend the analogy, if we hear If we hear that there was a car crash, do we immediately ask, oh, could you get the insurance money? Oh, was anyone, did you need to put the car in the junkyard? What new model car are you going to get? No, we ask, was anyone injured? Was anyone killed? Because we know the driver of the car is a lot more important than the car. Okay. And maybe after we hear there was no injuries or deaths, we'll ask, oh, could you get it fixed? And things like that. Now, at the same time, and in some respects, this verse focuses on both the driver and the car. It's not like, yeah, oh, the car is unimportant. No, the car is not unimportant. We want to know our car. That's part of self-awareness and self-realization. To use a term from Bhagavad Gita, we want to understand our psychophysical nature. We want to understand our psychophysical nature. That's the mind-body complex that we're inhabiting. A metaphor that's a bit more subtle and nuanced than the car analogy is computer. We're not the hardware. That's this stuff, hands, legs. It's described in Bhagavad Gita, Bhumir, Apo, Nalo, Vayu, Kamana, Buddha, Evakcha, Ahankara, Ityam, Me, Bina, Prakritir, Ashtada. Krishna explains there's 8 categories of material energy. What's called 5 gross elements, Mahabhuta, earth, water, fire, air, ether, and 3 subtle material elements, the subtle encasing of the soul, material mind, intelligence, and ahankara, or material ego. So we're not the hardware, and the software, that's the subtle material body. We're not the mind, intelligence, and material ego either. We're not the hardware, we're not the software. We are the operator of the computer, that irreducible quanta of consciousness that uses the hand to pick things up and uses the legs to walk and uses the mind to think, So, so in some attempts at spiritual life, the idea is to get rid of ego. Ego essentially means a sense of who we are. And we are someone. So in this bhakti approach, Bhagavad Gita approach, the idea is not to get rid of ego. The idea is to awaken our real ego. Yeah, to eliminate false ego, a false sense of who I am based on a false identification of the eternal spirit self with the temporary body. It's described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhayam Dvitiya Binivesha Tasyat, to the degree that we misidentify the eternal spiritual soul with the temporary body, we will be insecure, we will experience anxiety. So this gets at the root of psychological, emotional well-being. It's not just some abstract philosophy. And so to realize I'm not this body, I'm not this vehicle, I'm an eternal spirit soul, servant of the supreme person, that's real ego. And we want to cultivate that. That's the guidance of Bhagavad Gita. So while driving the car, for sure, we want to cultivate realization, I'm the driver, I'm not the car. And to know the car is important. Yeah. Are we driving an 18-wheeler? Are we driving a mini compact? In this particular vehicle, if I depress the accelerator 2 inches, is it going to barely move? Or is it going to like quickly accelerate? We want to know our car. It's a vital vehicle to take us on our journey. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. It's described in the Bhagavatam. Kamasya Nendriya Pritir Labo Jive Yavata Jivasya Tattva Jigyasa Nartoyas Cheha Karma Be. That the ultimate purpose for a spiritual being having a human experience, referencing Teilhard de Chardin there, we're not human beings having a spiritual experience, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And the ultimate purpose is to realize the absolute truth, self-realization, and realizing the absolute, and to not make temporary gratification of the material senses, gross and subtle senses, the goal of life. And so, yes, and so the car, to know the car, then we're supporting ourselves in our journey of living purposefully. So we want to know our car. And this text says, by worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all pervading, man can, in the performance of his own duty, attain perfection. So this describes that this process of bhakti, there are many processes described in Bhagavad Gita, and it's not some mishmash hodgepodge. Here's this process. Here's this process. The thread that ties all the processes together, whether jnana yoga, raja yoga, jnana yoga, karma yoga, is bhakti. They all lead to bhakti. Means it's the yoga. Yoga is like the English word to yoke comes from the Sanskrit yoga, to connect. Ultimately, yoga means the self, turning towards itself in self-realization, and turning towards the supreme in an attitude of devotion. So loving devotion to the to source, to the supreme, that's what all the religious systems, philosophical systems lead to, all the yoga systems. And so this is a very world embracing, not world rejecting process. So it's not saying to give up your material responsibilities. No, it's like it's natural for everyone to be engaged in an occupation, a career, not just a job, an occupation, a career, living purposefully in a way that's aligned with our psychophysical nature. And then that way, we're contributing to families, communities, individuals, and society. We're contributing in a way and we're actually happy because we're working. Confucius said, if you love what you do, you'll never have to work. So, so to the extent that we're actually enlivened, then then we're enthusiastic, we're inspired, and we're contributing like that. And so this part of Bhagavad Gita talks a lot about the car. Sure, we want to realize the driver of the car, and Bhagavad Gita, we're the driver, we're not the car. And the car is important. The car is important so that in practicing our spiritual life, our process of self-realization, connection with God, that we're happy and fulfilled because we're serving and contributing according to our psychophysical nature. Earlier in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna guides Arjuna, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mamanushmara Yudhyacha Mayarpita Manobudir Mameveshyasya Samshaya. So Arjuna's occupation, he's a warrior. He's a warrior. He's also a politician. Oh, okay, well, to like fight in wars and to do politics, well, that would be material. If you want to be spiritual, then you should renounce all that. And that's what Arjuna was thinking. And he realized he was completely wrong. That's the realization he come to. So Krishna says, no, your service, your dharma, psychophysical, material, and spiritual dharma, your dharma is to pick up your bow and fight. Is to pick up your bow and fight, and to protect innocent people through your fighting, and to please the Supreme Person through your fighting. And so, yes, yeah, and so for Arjuna, this he's fulfilling his responsibility on all dimensions and pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I know some of you So some here have experienced some aspects of what we call the Sattva programs, our Sattva Institute. We kind of created this word about 25 years ago, Sattva. Sattva comes from the ancient Sanskrit, like English words like saint or satisfied come from the Sanskrit sattva. Sattva means enlightenment, goodness, and tov from the biblical Hebrew means about the same thing, like mazel tov, good luck, like that. So, so through areas such as psychology, communication training, leadership training, coach training, social service, where I often say I'm not just interested in a collection of communication skills. I'm interested in a communication-based approach to self-realization, to cultivate proficiency in both the expression and listening aspect of communication and transformational process to support each other in that most vital aim of human life. And that's supporting the self to turn towards itself in self-realization and to turn towards the absolute in an attitude of devotion. So all businesses, all entrepreneurial endeavors, all crafts and professions, this is the guidance of Bhagavad Gita, are 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 meant to be used in the service of spirit, in the service of self-realization. There's even if we look at like like founding philosophical fathers of modern capitalism, at least the ideal, I'm not saying the way it plays out, but like Adam Smith, who wrote The Wealth of Nations and things like that, he describes that the actual purpose of any business, any entrepreneurial enterprise, is to support people to truly thrive and flourish and and blossom on all dimensions, including and especially the godly dimension, the spiritual. And then on that basis, he says, well, then obviously, if someone's doing a business, they're not going to be involved in cheating and crass, selfish exploitation and unethical, immoral behavior, because the ultimate goal of the business is to truly support people to thrive, and in that, yeah, to make a profit. And then that way it's synergistic like that. So at least that's the philosophy behind entrepreneurial capitalism. Narada Muni, I'm looking in the back, there's a picture of Narada Muni. He's known as the eternal spaceman. He's carrying an instrument called Avina. And yes, and so he flies around the planetary systems and chants Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So he said to his disciple Vyasadeva, who's the compiler of all the Vedas, Idam hi pumsas tapasa shutasyava suktasya sviktasya chaburi datayo avichu turta kavibir nirupito yadu tamashloka gunanu varnana. He, and then in the purport to that text by Srila Prabhupada, they talk about politics, psychology, chemistry, physics, crafts, arts, science, psychology, economics. All respectable human endeavors are not meant to be rejected in the name of spiritual life. That's incomplete renunciation. Rather, they're meant to be used to glorify Uttama Shloka, to glorify he who is glorified by the choicest Vedic verses. So that's our opportunity in the human form of life. One of our opportunities is to use our intelligence guided by higher intelligence, such as Bhagavad Gita as it is, how to integrate and dovetail and apply in our profession, how to integrate everything in whatever our profession is, whatever our occupation is, in bhakti, in devotional service. I mentioned incomplete renunciation. The example is given. An example Srila Prabhupada uses, like if we find a wallet let's say we find a wallet on the ground, and then there's $800 there, credit cards and driver's license. Okay, so then the material conception, yeah, we can celebrate. This is a wonderful day, right? So let's examine this philosophically. Right. So the material conception is, this is a wonderful day, right? Okay, I got $800. I got these credit cards. This is great. Okay, so that represents the material mentality. I can enjoy it. Okay, now the mentality of partial renunciation is saying, this is not my $800. It's not my credit cards. It's not my driver's license to enjoy. I will not touch this wallet. There's something noble about that. There's something noble. More complete renunciation is realizing this is not my $800, it's not my wallet, it's not my credit cards, but it is someone's. Let me return the wallet to its owner. Let me return the wallet to its owner, because it's for him to enjoy the $800 and the wallet and the credit cards. Then that's like, then we're feeling completely in integrity. Okay, that would be like, I mentioned Martha Beck's book, The Way of Integrity. So then we're feeling completely in integrity. So that's, it could be a real life scenario. And it's also a metaphor for renunciation. So it's described in the literature of the Goswamis. Prapanchikateya Budya Harisambandhi Vastuna Mumukshubi Priyago Palgo Vairagam Katyate. Palgo means false or incomplete renunciation. Means to not engage the wallet in the service of its owner. Complete renunciation, anasaktasya vishayanyatahami upayunjata nibandha Krishna sambandha yuktam vairagam uchate. Complete, full renunciation means to renounce the enjoying spirit. So we can talk of God. Krishna is a name of God, and Krishna is the speaker of Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna, he's actually the owner of all the wallets. Krishna is the owner of all the wallets. He's the owner of all the cars and all the minds. Because even I can think like, this is my body, but I'm not the body. So there's some realization there. But more than that, it's not even my body. I'm just renting some space. It's actually, this is God's energy. This is God's energy. This house, the car, the bank account, the relationship, the family. It's all God's energy. So complete renunciation is not just, I will be spiritual or run to the forest. That was kind of Arjuna's misconception at the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. No, but then Arjuna, no, let me use my propensity to be a warrior and protect innocent people. Let me use it in service to God. Let me use it in service to the Supreme. So that's complete. Let me renounce the enjoying spirit that I'll enjoy. And then the irony is, me, the spirit soul, when we surrender to our original consciousness, when we surrender to our original consciousness of blissful, devotional, blissful, selfless, unconditional devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then ironically, then we, the soul, were ever increasingly blissful. Shudyad yasmad brahma sokyam tvanantam. So that's the art and the science of bhakti yoga, which is the thread that everything leads to in Bhagavad Gita. The art and science of how to engage all the energies, including our own mind, our relationships, the money in the bank account, how to engage everything in Krishna's service. And then we're happy and self-satisfied. And then in that bright light, in that bright place, then there's no material propensity to try to and cultivate greed and exploit to try to get some shadow gratification. Now, so ultimately, everything is meant to be used in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's a truth principle. How to do that? That requires spiritual intelligence. How to do that? And to the extent, as a general principle, um, to the extent that we cultivate practices of bhakti, cultivate practices of sattva as opposed to lower modes, tamas and rajas, then we get intelligence how to relate in our profession, how to relate in our relationships, how to relate in caring for physical health, how to dovetail all of that in bhakti. It's described. Stavra Jingama Deki Nadeki Taramurti Sarvatra Hayanija Ista Deva Sporti. That to the extent that one is fully self-realized in Krishna consciousness, then they realize how to engage all of Krishna's energies in Krishna's service. An example we use even in some seminars. Let's say, what what is the vodka in the vodka bottle? What kind of question is that, David Wolf? What is the vodka in the vodka bottle? Well, obviously, it's the energy of God. So obviously, the more vodka I drink, the more spiritually enlightened I become. Just, it's logical. Some of you seem to have doubts, right? So it's true, it is God's energy, but how to relate to the different energies in such a way that myself and others become more and more enlightened in self-realization and Krishna consciousness. So the vodka in the vodka bottle, if I want to actually steadily progress in enlightenment in God consciousness, probably best to keep a distance from that energy. So similarly with all of the energies in our professions, our occupations, they're not meant to be rejected. That's like, this is not my wallet, I won't touch it. Meant to cultivate intelligence through sadhana bhakti, through the regulative principles of freedom, cultivate intelligence, how to utilize all of Krishna's energies in Krishna's service. And we get more and more realization to the extent that we immerse ourselves in this process. For myself, two pillars of my daily practice, dating back like to the early 1980s, which is a while ago, and yeah, some of you remember the early 1980s. Yeah, so one pillar for me is studying Srila Prabhupada's books. Srila Prabhupada, for me, is an external representation of Supersoul. This verse talks about Supersoul. He is the Supersoul of all demigods, all human beings, all animals, everywhere. So Srila Prabhupada's books, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, are an external representation of Supersoul. On the way here, I was listening to a lecture of Srila Prabhupada. His vibration is Supersoul is called Chaitya Guru, Guru within the heart, and I have maybe some little connection with that, but mostly there's lots of static because I retain lots of material consciousness. And then, so reading Prabhupada's books, external representation of God in the heart, and on the guidance of Srila Prabhupada, it's described in the ancient Vedas, Idi Shoda Shakam Nam Nam Kali Kalmasha Nashanam. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. To cultivate spiritual intelligence, to cleanse the heart, purify the heart, the most recommended process in this current age is that mantra on which I conducted my dissertation studies, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And so that's I chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra at least 2 hours per day, usually more, and study Prabhupada's books. And, that's a process for purification to whatever degree we choose to embrace it. And it's important because purification to cleanse the diamond of the soul and to reawaken our diamond-like godly qualities and to eliminate qualities like lust, toxic anger, greed, self-deception. Because to the extent that we're invested in lower mode qualities, we really give ourselves no chance for joy. There's no chance for joy there if I'm driven by greed and lust and envy and jealousy, etc., etc. I'll read the verse again, and then I'll be glad to hear any comments, realizations, or questions anyone would like to share or ask. This is chapter 18, text 46 of Bhagavad Gita. Yata privritir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam svakarmana tam abhyarchya siddhim vindati manava. By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all-pervading, man can, in the performance of his own duty, attain perfection. So I welcome if anyone has any questions or comments.
I'm having a little resistance to attain perfection.
Okay.
Because I try to get everything perfect
Yeah.
and that causes a lot of misery. And so I'd rather it say something else than attain perfection.
Okay. Yeah, you would prefer some different language there. I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, yeah. Okay. And even in our, in our personal transformation language, we don't use perfection much. We use usually like excellence. Yeah, to strive for excellence rather than demand perfection. To strive for excellence. So I hear you. And okay,
Because perfection doesn't always give me excellence.
yeah, right. It can give you neuroses.
Yes.
Yeah, which is not excellent, not even fun.
No.
Okay, so I'll endeavor to do some translation of how I'm understanding Srila Prabhupada there. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, welcome. So this is not some. This is one thing. Like one of Srila Prabhupada's books is entitled "Path of Perfection," which is like translation, I think, of some lectures on the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So, that perfection, as it's used here, it's not like how maybe I will tend to use it, or I understand use it on the street, like some externally defined, some externally defined form. Okay. Yes, need to have all my papers decluttered and filed, and I need to have my weight
Mistakes.
and with no mistakes, and that's definitely a, a recipe for a whole festival of misery, because we're subject to mistakes like that, and so it's not about some externally defined thing with no mistakes or no limitations. Rather, it's an internal state to aspire for. And what my understanding, when Prabhupada is using like perfection, path perfection, it means to move towards our only desire is to please God. Our only desire is to please God. And in that path, and that's like a very worthy path to traverse. In that path, like if we notice, like, well, I got a lot of other things going on other than to please Krishna. Again, Krishna is a name for God. Trying to motivate ourselves by whipping ourselves with shame and guilt is not encouraged. So one thing, that's it. It's not like some external thing with no mistakes or like that. or like how our body will look, how our house will look, or the results, or how the results will look in my job or even in my attempts at service. Hello, Stephanie. Hare Krishna. Welcome to you. And so, I'm remembering, like, I've read through all of Prabhupada's letters, like thousands and thousands of letters, and many of his students would write, like, I made this mistake. I really messed up, and like that. Prabhupada's like, yeah, okay, and they would be like maybe in some wallowing, and like I'm useless. Maybe I'll just leave, and some like embarrassing stuff. And Prabhupada would be like, yeah, to okay, this to let that be an opportunity for raising consciousness and continue on with enthusiasm. Continue on with enthusiasm, with with greater awareness of how weak we are, how susceptible we are, with greater awareness. So so a path of perfection, sure, I might have some external manifestations, but it's not like some material conception of what, like a box of what that needs to look like. But internally, path of perfection, where we transform our desires to be aligned with Krishna's desires. And that's the path of perfection. And in that, Srila Rupa Goswami encourages utsaha nishchaya darya tat karma pravartana, to be patient with ourselves, enthusiastic, which Srila Prabhupada defines as endeavor executed with intelligence. Enthusiasm, it doesn't necessarily need to look like rah rah, like cheerleading or something. Endeavor, grounded endeavor executed with intelligence. I just made a mistake. I just actually succumbed to some self-deception and cheating. Okay, all right. So let me look at that. Let me raise my awareness and continue with enthusiasm. And now, our desires align with Krishna's desires. That's completely compatible with radical personalism. We're each individuals, and we're each naturally according to the, let's say, the snowflake analogy. There's unlimited trillions of snowflakes. Each one has its distinct form. They're all made of H2O, each with its distinct form. Similarly, we're all spirit souls composed of Satchidananda, Vigraha, eternity, knowledge, bliss, wisdom, all the qualities, love and enthusiasm and infinite divine qualities. And we're each unique personalities, inspired to serve Krishna according to our distinctive personality. So I appreciate the discussion on perfection and excellence. Victor.
Yeah, what are Krishna's desires?
That's a good question.
I appreciate your question. Thank you, Victor. Krishna's desires, yes. So, mm, so Krishna, he wants us to be happy. He wants us to be happy. And our happiness is naturally attained and achieved through fulfilling Krishna's desires. And so in Bhagavad Gita, and this is spoken by Krishna, and he's sharing with us his desires. Just like, okay, we are reflections of Krishna, just as the sun rays are, they're microcosms of the whole sun globe. So just like the sun globe, it's full of heat and light and illuminating propensity. Each photon of light is also emanating heat and illumination. So similarly, we're not Krishna, but we are rays of Krishna. So for example, each of us, we each of us, we like to hear our name chanted. If we hear we're being talked about, like and we're being honored. And even if people are saying like not so good things about us, it's something like there's something, oh, I'm important. People are talking about me. But especially, we like to hear ourselves praised and celebrated. And, that can have its material aspects. Oh, I'm so great, this and that. But that propensity is a reflection of the pure form. So Krishna likes for us to glorify his name in any bona fide spiritual literature. It emphasizes, hallowed be thy name, says Jesus. In the Old Testament, my name's David Wolf, so my namesake is David Hamelech, King David from the Jewish, the ancient Jews, right? So what was King David doing? He was pleasing God by dancing with his associates around Jerusalem, around what would be the temple, and chanting the names of God, Adonai Elohim, V'hafta et Adonai Elohecha, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Elohecha. In the Islamic tradition, 99 names of Allah. So the actual, in the Old Testament, the temple built by David's son Solomon is called the Temple of the Holy Name. So Krishna, God, likes for his name to be glorified. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantas chadri davrada namasyantas chamam nityam nityayuk namasyantas chamam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. And Krishna says, those who are my devotees and please me, the great souls, the Mahatmas, what do? They engage in kirtan, satatam kirtayanto mam. Kirtan, it's like this kirtan, like, oh, that started in the 1990s, kirtan? No, actually, it's in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna's talking about kirtan, doing kirtan satatam, which means all the time. And kirtan has many forms. The form many are most familiar with is with the instruments and the singing. Kirtan has other forms too. So to chant the genuine names of God in any language, in names of God most recommended in the Sanskrit literatures, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is pleasing to Krishna. Here in the kitchen, I think she's there, is Rasamrita, right? Rasamrita's there. And so what's she doing? She's pleasing Krishna. Okay, and this isn't just me making stuff up. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati Tadaham Bhakti Paratam Ashnami Prayatatmanaha. Krishna says, if one prepares for me and offers to me with love and devotion, a leaf, a flower, fruit, water, dairy products, I accept them. I accept them with love. So to prepare food to be offered to Krishna for Krishna's enjoyment with love and devotion, this is pleasing to Krishna. This is pleasing to Krishna. So we can look at any area of life, sound vibration, food, occupation, and we can look at every area of life and see what Krishna says, how to please him with those senses and with that endeavor. I appreciate very much that you prompted this conversation, Victor.
That sounds like perfection.
Mhm.
That I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That path to attain perfection. Taryn.
Oh, sorry. Hi. I just was wondering, it's really easy to kind of become complacent in a lot of, routine and practice.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if you specifically have any pointers on how to practice this devotion towards Krishna in a more humble and sincere and engaged way. Because it's easy to sometimes get lost in our thoughts when we're cooking a meal and forget about Krishna. So, little tips to help us remember those steps along the way. Do you have any?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And so that we don't become mechanical
Yes, exactly.
in the practices.
Mhm.
I appreciate very much your question. And Krishna says, Prajakshavagamam dharmyam, shushukam kartumavyam. this process is joyfully performed. This process is joyfully performed, and then so like if we're feeling mechanical or stagnant, Prabhupada in many places says Krishna consciousness. It's never hackneyed, never stereotyped, never stagnant. So then if we're feeling those things, it's like checking off the box, and then like it's a sign. Oh, my my consciousness my consciousness is not in ideally the right place, in the right place for this practice. And so myself kind of like, I find association can be very helpful to keep me enlivened, like this association, hearing each other's realizations, associating with Srila Prabhupada, hearing his kirtan, hearing his lectures. This morning, I was in association with online with a group from Singapore, Malaysia. So association, it can be a sort of, it's enlivening. It can be uh, feedback that oh yeah, I can see I was getting dry in my practices. Say if I'm used to chanting alone, but that's a main reason why I host programs regularly, chant with others. I mean, sometimes I like chanting on my own, and so to stretch ourselves in our devotional practices, maybe like, okay, let me memorize a verse from Bhagavad Gita today. Well, that's a stretch, but that'll like get me going. I need to get out of my my routine. Okay, yeah, let me okay, tonight for half an hour I'm gonna do bhajans. I'm gonna do bhajans. Let me stretch myself, and to share, to share. Let me prepare prasad, but let me meditate on how I'm going to distribute the prasad at the program, or to family members. To let me let me let me lead a Bhagavad Gita discussion. Let me host a program. Let me share kirtan. So to stretch ourselves in different ways, for me, it helps to keep me alive in the process. And of course, if I'm noticing my thoughts go here and there, which they always do, I completely personally relate to that. Yeah, just like if I got a 32 track mind, okay, on as many tracks as possible, let me put Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Let me put a verse of Bhagavad Gita. Let me hear Prabhupada's sound vibration. These are, and I can say, like, again, I've been endeavoring to practice going back to the early 80s. In 1983, I vowed to chant at least 16 rounds of japa each day, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra japa, reading Prabhupada's books, regularly, all of his books. And I certainly experienced times of enthusiasm and times where it feels like pushing. At the same time, I'll say that with whatever steadiness I've shown for these 45 years or so, I do experience each year, not each day, but each year, more and more joy and enthusiasm in the process. How's that sound?
That sounds great. Yeah, because it's easy to get uninspired even when practicing sometimes.
Yeah.
Or like you mentioned, cooking for Krishna. Sometimes I get distracted and I think about, oh, all the devotees who will be eating it instead of Krishna,
Yeah.
which I don't think is a bad thing because
Yeah.
Krishna loves when we please his devotees.
Yeah.
But I often find myself getting distracted along the way, or uninspired and lacking discipline to just start sometimes. So yeah, that's helpful. I like that idea of like learning a new kirtan or something.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
kirtan.
yeah,
So like
right.
why would I not
Yeah.
try to do that? But doom scrolling so much better, right?
Yeah.
So thanks.
I relate. Okay. Thank you, Taryn. I appreciate the question and the devotional discussion. Sundari.
Thank you so much for class. I find it very cool that you just compared. You also brought up, scriptures from the Judaic tradition.
Yeah.
Christianity. Like, can you elaborate a little bit on what are the similarities and what are the differences between, Judaism and a Christian consciousness?
Okay, thank you, Sindri. Thanks for that prompt. Yeah, thank you. And okay, well, that could certainly be a big discussion, but yeah, I actually, back in 83, 84, I studied at a yeshiva, which is a home of Jewish learning, not in Gainesville or not in Philadelphia, which is the city where I grew up, in Jerusalem. Your Atika, Hakotel. Hakotel means the Wailing Wall from the ancient temple. Right there in the old city of Jerusalem, I studied at a yeshiva called Eish HaTorah. I studied with some of the top rabbis in the world at that time, Rabbi Weinberg, Rabbi Ackerman. Yeah, so, okay. So in all these strands, whether Judaism, Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, um, you got three main strands. You got three main strands. Okay, I mean, I'm simplifying, but it's true. Okay, you got one strand of kind of like be good and go to heaven. You can find that, be good and go to heaven. And that's nice. It helps people to be good rather than just vicious and selfish. And you got another strand, and then in heaven, then you get to really enjoy. Okay, you got that in the Vedas, you got that in Bhagavad Gita. And then another strand, you'll get kind of like the mystical strands, the Kabbalistic strand in Judaism, or the kind of the Christ within approach in Christianity, or the Sufis or the Darwishes in Islam and things like that. And then that's kind of like to kind of renounce trying to enjoy and just kind of like to merge into the oneness of God. Okay, that's called the Jnana path in the Vedas, and the Karma Yoga path in the Vedas. That's like be good, go to heaven. Okay, and then you got a third strand, and that's bhakti. You got a third strand, and that's bhakti. And so if we look at the essential, so for example, when Jesus was asked, what's the most important verse, not from the Old Testament, because there was no New Testament in the time of Jesus, but what's the most important verse from the Hebrew literatures? He said, V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'kol lebavka b'kol nafsheka b'kol modecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele. It's called the V'ahavta. And it's like the Maha Mantra of the Hebrew literatures. And the translation, love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might. It's bhakti. It's Bhagavad Gita. It's bhakti. Preceding the V'ahavta is Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Again, it's glorification. It's bhakti, glorification of God. So the idea of like be good, go to heaven, and the other strands, it's to just give people some taste and some faith ultimately in these spiritual literatures, to bring them ultimately to pure unconditional service to God. And it's described about the Buddha, for example. Buddha is described in the Bhagavatam. He's an expansion of Krishna who came for a particular reason, and he gave a philosophy of nihilism and voidism, which is not the Vedic conclusion, but he needed to do that to take people away from the Vedas because they were misusing the Vedas to slaughter animals. Very similar to what, like, when Jesus went to the synagogue and he turned over the tables because they were using the synagogue as a slaughterhouse. It was disgusting and a so-called holy place. So similar in the time of Buddha. Anyhow, so but Buddha's actual mission was to turn people to bhakti, and he needed to do it in some sort of like roundabout way. I remember this was 2016, and I was visiting the Bonomo family. I was conducting some Safatov seminars in a place called Ricon, Switzerland. Ricon, Switzerland. And right up the mountain, everything in Switzerland is mountains. Yeah, even like the small mountains is like much steeper than any hill in Florida. Okay, so right up the mountain, about a 45-minute walk in the snow. It was like February. There's a Tibetan Buddhist ashram. And it's like when the Dalai Lama visits Europe, he stays there. And so we went, and their children were like 5 and 7 years old, and with Annette and Peter Bonomo, we actually had snowball fights walking up the mountain. And I lost all the snowball fights. And so, but we came to the Buddhist ashram, and I entered in. And the first thing I felt and noticed, bhakti. Even though the philosophy was like ultimately it's all void and just to merge into the void and like that. But there was this big Morti of Buddha, and you had these brahmacharis dressed in saffron, brahmacharis best dressed in saffron, carefully slicing an apple and offering it to the Buddha, and offering incense with love and devotion. So, like Buddha's roundabout way worked. He was bringing people to serve God with love and devotion. So we can find that in all of the strands. I mean, Allah Akbar it is all about being a servant of God is great, and I am God's servant. And so we can go, yeah, more. We can go. So chanting the names of God in any bona fide name of God in any language. Nam namakri bahuda nija sarvashakti chatorpitanyamite smarane nakala. Lord Chaitanya says God has innumerable names in so many languages. Okay, I mean, like, I'll, okay, who, in the Old Testament, the Old Testament of the Bible, who knows what's the first line?
In a
In the beginning.
Yes, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. Okay, so the Hebrew is Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim v'et haaretz. It's very interesting. So whether you look at a Judaic, Christian, or Islamic translation, it always says, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. But the actual Hebrew, interestingly, in the beginning would actually be Bareshit bara Elohim et hashamayim v'et haaretz. But it doesn't say Bareshit. It says Bereshit. The vowel is Bereshit, which actually translates as in a beginning. That's actually what it says in the Hebrew, in a beginning. For me, it's very interesting if we look at connections. Because in the beginning indicates a linear conception of time. A linear conception of time. That, and whether it's the Judeo-Christian tradition or modern science, it started with a Big Bang or it started in the beginning. But the Vedic conception of time is cyclical. It's cyclical. So that's consistent with what the Hebrew actually says in that first letter, in a beginning. So that's about 5,000 years ago. It's a beginning, the Kali Yuga. Also, for example, like in the Judaic tradition, I know, for like probably the aspect of Krishna consciousness that's been most challenging for me, and I've been around since the early 1980s, is the form, the deity service in the form of Radha Krishna. That's been, because I grew up the Judaic tradition, like God has no form. You go to a synagogue, not just there's no form of God, there's no picture of a rabbi. I mean, there's just no form. That's very interesting. Because in the Ten Commandments, there's a one of the commandments. It's interpreted like to don't worship idols. Don't worship idols. True, and we should not worship idols, and just like worshiping something material. In that actual commandment, what God is saying, the Hebrew He uses in giving that to Moses is al panai. So al is a negation, and panai means my face. Panim is face. So what he's actually saying is, don't worship any face or form except for mine. So in the commandment that's often used to try to, in the commandment that's often used to try to establish that God has no form, God's saying, I have a form, I have a face, worship that, and don't serve or worship money or a golden calf or physical bodies or a materially famous person or like that. So yeah, how's that sound, Cindy?
That's very interesting.
I appreciate your question. Stephanie.
I'm curious, dear Govinda, what your perception is around decision making having to do with reading what Super Soul is guiding us.
Okay.
How Super Soul is guiding us.
How Super Soul is guiding us.
And like, I know that's kind of a big general question.
Yeah. That's
but in
very
terms-
practical and very relevant.
In terms of trust and clarity and decision making. Yeah.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thanks for that question. Okay. So, in like our software programs, we talk a lot about like experience your experience, feel your feelings, things like that. And that's not meant to be some touchy-feely new age thing, feel your feelings. At the same time, yet to be conscious of emotion, physical sensation, thought, that's the foundation for Krishna consciousness. And to be conscious, there's like, in whatever I'm experiencing, whatever I'm feeling, there's to be conscious, like what's the message from Super Soul here? What's the message from Super Soul? So there's just like physically, if someone has some disorder, I don't know what it's called, but some people like they're numb, they can't feel pain physically. It's very dangerous because then they might continue to break bones or damage themselves because they can't feel pain. It's like if we're feeling emotional pain or shame, we want to be present with that because there could be a message there that I'm off track and I'm self-sabotaging and I'm destroying myself. So let me wake up. That's one point. Now, at the same time, your question's very intelligent from my point of view, because it gets to like, but it's not that like every thought or every emotion, oh, this is the direction of Super Soul. I got lots of things going on. It's definitely not higher intelligence. It's my material mind or my material ego that that will just get me into further trouble and entanglement and misery. A little later in a few verses after the chapter we're studying today, Krishna says to Arjuna, Machita sarvadurgani mat prasada tarishyasi atachetvam ahankaram nasrosyasi vinanksyasi. Krishna says to Arjuna, if you listen, listen and give power to material ego and material mind, you're gonna be lost in the material ocean, struggling and drowning. And if you hear the voice of Super Soul and let that guide you, you'll easily cross over the ocean of material existence, and the whole ocean will reduce to like the amount of water as found in the hoof print of a calf. Okay, so yeah, so we want to so making those distinctions for our decision making is vital. To the extent that we practice sattvic habits and authorized process of sadhana bhakti, then we get more and more refinement in being able to distinguish what's the voice of the material ego and mind and what's the voice of Super Soul. So we cultivate spiritual intelligence. Krishna says at the end of the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Ivambude prambudva samstap yatmanam atmana jahi shetru mahabaho kamarupa durasadam. He says to Arjuna, control the lower self with the higher self by spiritual intelligence, and in that way you'll overcome the insatiable enemy known as lust. If we're driven by lust, we're going to create more and more misery. So their super soul, Chaitya Guru, and then the external representation of super soul is our current link to the parampara. For me, that's Srila Prabhupada. So anything from Srila Prabhupada, that is super soul speaking to us. Still, it's our responsibility how to process the voice of super soul in particular life situations. This morning at the Singapore class, I read an excerpt from 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Mother Yashoda is breastfeeding baby Krishna. And so it's all very wonderful. But then the milk is boiling over on the stove, and she attends to the milk, and she needs to put down Krishna. And Krishna is not happy about that. So he gets angry. It's transcendental anger, of course. And so in the purport, Prabhupada describes that everything from Mother Yashoda is bhakti. She's also boiling the milk. That's for Krishna too. And he says in transcendental management, sometimes we need to consult super soul intuition about what to do first and what to do next. So he says Mother Yashoda is not at fault for attending to the milk boiling over. And of course, it's a transcendental pastime that leads to Mother Yashoda's even deeper love for Krishna. And so the more we apply our intelligence, hear Bhagavad Gita, hear Srila Prabhupada's lectures, associate with Srila Prabhupada and his sincere representatives, chant names of God, then the more we're able to make refined, nuanced distinctions of what's the voice of super soul and what's the voice of material ego and mind.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie.
One follow-up question. You said
Yes.
the word lust at one point.
Yeah.
Is that purely referring to how we know lust to be defined in society, or is that pertaining to any kind of sensory attachment, including subtle mental, emotional attachment, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean it more broadly, and Bhagavad Gita means it more broadly. Yes. So it could mean like, I have lust to be respected in this group. I have lust to have that, to have the distinction of having that position, to be adored because I have that car, or to be adored because I'm your best friend, and I really. So that's like a subtle lust, and and so as long as we're lusting after gross or subtle material gratification for any of the subtle or gross material senses, then really then there's no room for actual empathy. Because just like lust means I don't want that. I need it. I need it. And then we have this very narrow vision. Thanks for that follow-up.
I have a follow-up.
Victor. Yes, Victor.
So just wanted to clarify, Krishna has two desires: for us to be happy and for us to chant his names. Just have two desires?
Well, yes. And those desires can expand unlimitedly. So for example, Krishna wants us to be discussing about him and he has a desire for us to be talking about him and his philosophy to deepen our understanding. So what we're doing right now, which has included chanting his names and discussing his words in Bhagavad Gita, this is also pleasing for Krishna. As we mentioned, Rasamrita, she's preparing food to offer to Krishna. That's Krishna's desire too. That's Krishna's desire too. So yeah, the way you termed it, they are Krishna's two desires, and those desires can be expanded on and are expanded in innumerable forms.
Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. I appreciate the discussion. Sundari.
Follow up on the question that
Yeah.
earlier asked and that you so eloquently answered. So you're mentioning there are three levels of worship in all of these religions.
Yeah. Yeah.
In Bhakti terminology, you can say that's like Jnana Mishra Bhakti.
Yeah. Karma Mishra, Jnana Mishra.
There is just Shukta Bhakti.
Yeah.
So how does Shukta Bhakti manifest in Judaism and Christianity? Because sometimes we do hear that the material conception of God is the usual reference when, or the majesty that is being called in Christianity, like as God,
Yeah.
is not necessarily like the fullness of God. Or in fact, God itself is a Christian term. We don't call Krishna God.
Yeah, that's true.
Just Godhead.
Godhead, the
Yeah,
whole
Godhead.
association.
It's
It-
supposed to be a
yeah.
concept.
Different yeah. Srila Prabhupada needed to work with the English language. Yeah.
So we actually oftentimes sort of like think, when we think of Krishna, we think of God.
Yeah.
So just for comment on that.
Well, I heard a few strands of questions there.
Yeah, well, I guess like the fundamental one I was curious about is like how does this non, like pure bhakti manifest in Christian and Judaic traditions?
Okay, yeah, thanks for that. Well, my understanding, it manifests to different degrees in the hearts of the followers. At the same time, I appreciate your question because we're talking about the oneness and the parallels. At the same time, there is something distinctive about Gaudiya Vaishnavism that in my experience, Gaudiya Vaishnavism in the line of Krishna, Vyasadeva, Lord Chaitanya, Madhavendra Puri, the six Goswamis, through Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, through Srila Prabhupada. In that line, the nuances and subtleties and expansiveness of pure love for the Supreme Person is most extensively described and explained and delineated in form, in practice, and in philosophy, much more extensively than anywhere else. My belief is that's not my bias. If someone comes to me, oh no, here I have this line where it's more extensively delineated, but so far I haven't seen it in my decades where I'm studying these things.
Well, because like I don't know enough about Judaism or Christianity to be confident in making that claim, like I feel like sometimes if we as devotees say to a Christian person like our theology is better than yours, it's like I don't know nothing about yours, so I don't feel like I don't want to just like say yours is bad. So in your so you described your experience in studying Judaism so quite deeply. So you feel that there is a difference in Gaudiya Vaishnavism too, that there's that nuance and that subtlety that doesn't quite exist in.
Yeah, I know. I say that with confidence, and I don't claim to be a great scholar in anything, but based on my study and experience, I wouldn't use the term better or bad or good, but most complete. That the path of pure bhakti to the Supreme Person is most completely described in this Gaudiya Vaishnav line, philosophical and practice. And yeah, I stand by that strongly. And if someone wants to show me something from my consideration, I'm open to it. Now, that doesn't mean, because I've met those. For example, I've been so inspired, for example, by the books of Saint Teresa of Avila, or so many Christian saints. I was so inspired by so many of the rabbis and the rebbits in the yeshivas. So someone might be practicing in a line that what's given is relatively a lot less complete than is given in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. but they may be more pure and more advanced than someone trying to practice Bhagavad Gita. I've met practicing Christians, Jews, Druze, Muslims who I experience as much more advanced and pure than me. Still, as far as the most complete presentation in detail and nuance, philosophically and with regards to the distinctions of practice, that's found in this line. And yeah. So it's just delineated most fully here. It's there. We can find that strand in the teachings of the Old Testament, the New Testament, Buddha's teachings, but it's mixed up with the other strands quite a bit.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sundari. Taryn.
As somebody who grew up Catholic, and you mentioned, not worshiping, idols.
Yeah.
And I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's false idols, right?
Yeah.
Specifically
Yeah.
false
Yeah.
idols.
That's
But I, from my very limited young experience in Catholicism, when I found Bhakti, I did feel like I got a lot more answers to the questions
Yeah.
that I was asking
Yeah.
as a young person. Like, who am I? What am I doing here? What happens after I die? And some of those questions can
Yeah.
be answered within the Christian or Catholic, specifically faith. But I felt like when it came to not just getting an answer, but why the answer is
Yeah.
what it is, like
Yes.
the leading up to the answer.
Mhm.
There's a lot more backpedaling that I could go down. I
Yeah.
could understand why they came up with the answer they came up with, not just believe it and
Yeah.
it'll be true. Which that's blind faith. And
Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada, warns us to, just go into something with blind faith. He says, question everything.
Question. Yeah.
From what I've
Yeah.
learned.
He said he wants us to be independently thoughtful, for sure.
So I was taught in Catholicism that it is the way it is because it's the way it is, and you should just believe it because we say you should believe it. And that was really difficult for me to swallow, especially being a little bit rebellious or reckless as a
Yeah.
young person. So I'm just sharing this because you mentioned that you liked hearing the personal experiences.
Thanks for sharing that, Tara.
I don't know if anybody else have. This is my last question. I promise.
She studies religion professionally.
No, I just wonder, so in this case, how do you think is the way for dialogue between the religions?
Yeah.
You do, share and respect theirs simultaneously. What do you feel like? And especially as someone who hosted an institute that is, not that I know enough about Satkato, but it seems to be a lot more, it seems to be not a nonpartisan sort of, because it's not a religious
No, no.
sort of.
No.
So what's your take on, how do we create dialogues? Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate the question. I've really never been interested in religion, and I'm still not. And that can confuse people. They say, "But you say you do 6 hours per day of this practice," and it's true. Today it looked more like 10 hours. With all the different programs and my personal sadhana. I mean that in the sense that Prabhupada means it. Prabhupada will so often say Krishna consciousness is not a religion in an ordinary sense. It's not a religion like, I don't regard myself as a Hare Krishna. Like, I was a Jew, but then I was a Buddhist, and it's not like a label. I've never been interested in joining something or getting others to join something. For a long time, since my mid-teens, I am interested and enthused about a process, an experiential process of self-realization. Krishna says, Pratyakshava gamam dharmyam shushukam kartumavyam. This process is directly experienced. I've been involved in the human potential movement since the 1970s, even before the 1980s. Transformation of consciousness, developing godly qualities, transformation of heart. So that interests me. And so I don't identify myself as I'm a Hare Krishna. I identify myself, I'm a practitioner or an aspiring practitioner of an ancient, actually an eternal process of self-realization and in consciousness of the supreme called bhakti or Krishna consciousness. So that's one thing. So so I've just recently, a few days ago, I was talking to a devout practicing Catholic, and she said that she's a Catholic, but bhakti has so much enriched and made her Catholicism so much more beautiful. Okay, so we're not interested in conversion. We are looking at convergence. There's a letter from Srila Prabhupada to Balavanta, also known as William Ogle. Do you know Balavanta? He lives in Alachua. He's been in Prabhupada's movement since the early 1970s. He's a graduate. He's a graduate of the Safato Foundational Advanced Seminars, going back to 2003. Anyhow, he's become for many decades, he's a prominent lawyer in North Florida. And at that time, Srila Prabhupada encouraged him he was running for mayor of Atlanta. Prabhupada formed something called the In God We Trust political party. For a brief time, he did. And anyhow, so he could see that Balavanta was very intelligent and he was sharing bhakti with the intelligent sector of the population. So Prabhupada said, what Prabhupada wrote, if we want to attract intelligent people to this Krishna consciousness movement, we need to be really, really good listeners. Really good. So that's like an essence of my response here. Prabhupada cites in that letter to Balavanta, he cites Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in listening to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. That's in Chaitanya Charitamrita, especially chapter 6 of the Madhya Lila. Lord Chaitanya, he listens to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya for many days, actually 7 days. And even though Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is speaking Mayavad philosophy, not bhakti, but Lord Chaitanya showed understanding. There's a basic saying, people don't care what you know till they know that you care. And so oftentimes a powerful way to show that we care is to listen and show understanding. Understanding doesn't mean that I agree. But if I get that you're understanding my point of view, I'm going to be more open to hear your perspective and your point of view. The Christian philosopher Paul Tillich said, the first duty of love is to listen. So with different perspectives, interfaith, that sort of thing. So to be deeply committed that before I express what I want to express, I'm going to show understanding such that you feel understood. And that can be a basis for enlivening, productive dialogue.
Thank you, that's a brilliant point.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Thank you, Sindri. Thanks for the questions. Hare Krishna. In the next part of our program, we'll again visit experientially Hare Krishna Mahamantra. At the beginning of the program, we experienced Hare Krishna Mahamantra in a form called Kirtan. Next, for those who choose to participate, we'll experience Hare Krishna Mahamantra in a form called Japa. Rasamrita is distributing Japa beads. Rasamrita is distributing Japa beads.
Okay.
Great. So here, yeah, I'll take one, even though I brought my Japa beads. I like a fresh experience, different Japa beads. And so to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra on Japa beads, it's generally recommended to use thumb and middle finger of the right hand and to start by holding the bead next to the bead with the tassel. And on that bead, to chant one Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then to move to the second bead away from the large bead, meaning the bead with the tassel, and again to chant one Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then to move to the third bead away from the large bead and chant one mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In this way, again, for whoever would like to participate, we'll chant in unison one mantra on each of the beads, not including the bead with the tassel. There is 108 beads on the strand. To chant 108 mantras, that's called chanting one round of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra Japa. It's a meditation. It's a meditation on transcendental sound vibration. And the process simply is to do our best to focus our mind and power of hearing and consciousness on each word of each of the 3 words of the mantra. It's a 16-word mantra, and the 16 words are composed of 3 words: Hare, Krishna, and Rama. Hare indicates the feminine essence of the divine. Krishna indicates a name of the divine that means the all attractive source of all beauty. And Rama indicates the reservoir of all bliss, all pleasure. So we simply do our best to focus on the sound vibration of each word of the mantra. If we notice our mind wandering because we've not yet attained perfection, if we notice our mind wandering, then we simply notice that and do our best to bring our mind back to the sound vibration of the words of the mantra and be with our experience, As I mentioned earlier in our program, in the 1990s, I did my PhD dissertation on the effects of chanting Hare Krishna, and the dissertation confirmed the Vedic assertions that to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra reduces toxic stress and depression and increases life satisfaction and inner joy. So for those who would like to participate, let's start with the bead next to the large bead and chant one Hare Krishna Maha Mantra japa round together. Let us begin. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you for chanting Hare Krishna. As I mentioned earlier, this chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra Japa, it's a cornerstone of my personal spiritual practice going back to the early 1980s. And yeah, I made a commitment at that time to chant at least 16 rounds. We chanted one round here, 16 rounds per day. I have various accomplishments in my life that I feel proud of, for whether that's material pride or spiritual pride. I can say for sure the achievement that I'm most proud of is that I've rigorously fulfilled my vow to chant at least 16 rounds per day for these 43 years. And for me, this is the prime practice that supports me experientially to not be disturbed by the inevitable disturbances of life, including disturbances created by my own mind and circumstances and people, and to be living steadily with enthusiasm and inspiration, with purpose. It's described by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nam Nam Akri Bahuda, Nija Sarva Shaktis, Tetrapitanyamite Smarane Nakala, that for this Hare Krishna Mahamantra to be effective, there's no rules or regulations. We chanted here together. We can chant alone. We can chant standing, sitting. Well, sometimes I chant, I take a walk and I chant. We can chant with beads, without beads. And so it's encouraged to return to our original joyful consciousness and loving devotion to Krishna. It's encouraged to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra as there's not too much. There's not too much. For the next part of our program, before we close the program with prasadam, which is just like this mantra chanting, it's transforming sound vibration and awakening to the original spiritual essence of sound vibration. So prasadam, that's transforming the food and process of eating into bhakti, into spiritual life. So before prasadam, we'll again experience mantra in the form of kirtan. Taryn, I humbly request if you'd be willing to lead kirtan. I'm humbly requesting. I appreciate your agreement. And
I just prayed before you asked me that. Like, just empower me, Lord. Serve your devotees. Oh gosh. Okay.
thanks for agreeing.
We can rip off each other. I don't know. We'll do it. She has a beautiful voice. I almost